In the gallant days when history hung on the flight of an arrow or the slash of a sword, when feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendor.
It is truly colorful, exciting, fascinating entertainment every minute of the way.
Moonsea Adventures.
Hello and welcome back to the Moonsea Adventures. The group has had a very interesting evening. You guys discovered quite a bit of things going on in Melvaunt in this kind of apocalyptic situation here. And it seems like you've discovered some information about the current status of the city, as well as some of the dangers that are in and around Melvaunt. So you're able to get a complete rest. You any hit points that you were missing or spell slots are restored. And throughout the night, the orphans kind of kept watch with you in their own ways. And then in the morning, basically, you see that they kind of go about their daily kind of routines. There's a bit of organizing, like rations that they have down in the cellar, and then distributing them. And you see the kids kind of taking turns. They also, one of the smaller kids, Amari, the girl with the brown hair, she climbs up into the loft of the cottage that you guys are in. And you see she passes down a bucket that looks like it has water in it to some of the other kids. And then those kids kind of distribute that bucket water into different cups and stuff like that. Quinn actually asks you, Rolfish, if you would do that trick again with the water.
Yes, I will do that for them.
So you heat up some water, and basically they put some rice in there, and they put some dried fish in there, and they kind of prepare these bowls of food, basically. So that's where you guys are at. It seems pretty quiet outside. You don't hear any sounds of movement or anything like that outside. So what do you guys do?
Get a bowl of whatever, and then kind of call my friends over and kind of talk about what we want to do.
Okay, Jaunt.
Yeah, just incidentally, I keep forgetting to mention that anytime I see like a rip or a tear, or somebody's got some broken bit of whatever on their, armor, or these kids with their clothes, I'm casting mend on it. So I'm just mend, just making things a little better. But I'll do the same thing. I'll get a bowl of that stuff if it's available, and hunker down and get ready to hash out what we're planning to do.
So it's interesting because once you start doing the mending, the kids, seeing that you have this ability, start like basically escorting you around to different places where they have you doing mend on all sorts of things, like structural mending with some of the like woodwork. There's some furniture that has like, broken chair legs and stuff. They have you mend. There's even a short bow. They have you mend the string for the short bow. They bring out a whole bunch of arrows that are broken. It looks like they recovered arrows and like they snapped them. So you start mending. You're like the hero, and clothing, and like there's like a bucket with a leak in it that you mend. So there's like all this stuff, broken tools that they have gathered and organized in their little loot cache down in the cellar. And so like you kind of did quite a bit of that stuff. So they're all in much better shape than they were, presumably when you guys arrived, if for nothing else than between bringing back pounds and pounds of rice to them and mending a lot of their stuff and cooking and purifying water. They have a lot better setup than they did before. So you guys gather in a circle. I'm going to say kind of like off in one corner of the cottage. The kids aren't really bothering you. They seem to kind of give you some space out of respect for what you've done for them, and you know, it's almost like they recognize like this is adult time, so they kind of, you know, they kind of stay to the other side of the cottage. So you're all circled up. Proceed.
Well, friends, we have a few choices. What do you think? We could certainly investigate this night lady that Jaunt found out about, or we could leave.
Should investigate.
This town is done for in the end, really.
We need to find out from the children if they want to stay here or leave. We need to make sure they stay safe.
I'm just concerned if we take, I don't know, how many do we have here? 9 children with us, that would be a burden on us. But if that's what the group decides, I would go along with it. Concerning this night lady, I'm not sure if we go into this venture, if that would maybe help the safety of the children, if we could get rid of some of the bad people in this area. But I don't know if we're equipped for that right now.
Another suggestion I might have is we have 2 other people here with us. We could take them, have them escort the children out, use the wagon. That's not even ours anyway, it's the other guy. And then they can take supplies and weapons with them and escort them out of the city at least to send them on their way. Then we could investigate this night lady and her band without reprisal, the children fearing reprisal from them.
Are we aware of a safe area with living humans for the children?
Now, outside the city, they could go to either try and make it to Fharlanghn or to the other city to the east, I think, and south. Forget the name of that town.
I would not send them to a city that we have not investigated yet. There
might be an idea to send them back to the farm where we came from. If they could set up camp there.
How far back was that?
It's not that far.
It's like
so
10
you're
miles.
You're talking about Halon's farm,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make it there in before nightfall if you had everything ready to go and you had a good pace. The problem you've had thus far is that you don't have anything to pull the wagon.
Yeah, we were pulling it ourselves.
So
I don't know if
with the addition of a bunch of kids and supplies, that's going to slow down the wagon. The kids would have to walk.
I look at Moriana because at this problem we're seeming to have. Moriana, would you be able to change into some sort of beast that could pull the?
I could change into a war horse, but it only lasts for an hour. I'm not sure what the speed is for that. The speed is 60 feet, but pulling a wagon, I don't know what the burden is for that. How much would that slow down a war horse?
We're pretty strong.
So let me ask you a question. Are you guys right now, it's just the 4 of you kind of in this circle.
Yeah.
Halon and Monique are kind of like, they're down in the cellar kind of trying to help organize what the kids have looted.
Mm-hmm.
Like going through the random piles on the floor to figure out what's useful and stuff. Are you talking about or considering what might be the possibility of going to Halon's farm? Are you going to include him in this conversation at some point, or like call for him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do need to include him, but like we're just going over the options, and then if we decide upon that, we do need to bring him in and ask him.
Okay. Right.
But we should still get their opinions on where they want to be.
Well, and isn't Monique is missing her husband and father.
Her husband and brother.
And brother.
Yeah.
2 different guys.
Dead.
Yeah. You presume that they are among the people attacked by the infected.
Yeah. Well, if we don't have any other suggestions, let's bring them up and see what they think.
See what they want to do.
Yeah. We'll call over Halon and then.
Halon comes up. He sits down with you. You present the possibility of using his farm as a place to bring everyone. And
yeah.
He says that his concern is that his farm's not really well fortified. That, you know, if it was attacked in mass, that there wouldn't be anywhere to like fall back to for miles, right? Number two, firewood would be something that would be needed for certain as winter was coming, and that the sight of, you know, smoke from a burning fire has historically attracted the attention of the infected. And that number three, his crops were never harvested. So he has no like backup of food. Like, you know, he's like, there would be 7 of the kids and Monique and I, it's 9 people to feed with no stores for winter. He says by now I would have harvested, I would have taken a portion of my harvest, my crops to market. I would have bought supplies to prepare for winter. I would have had my store of grain. And I have none of those things. He says, I'm not sure if it's safer on my farm than it is here.
Okay.
Well, and that's the case with everything everywhere, right? Like, we don't know. We've been in the banquet for 6 months or however long, and so we don't know if Fharlanghn or anything is alive.
And they don't know nothing about the other cities.
Monique thinks that Fharlanghn fell. She doesn't know for sure, but it was in a very precarious position with sick people prior to her leaving.
Right. So if there was an option of the city, it'd be the southern one.
So Thentia is by road, it's to the southeast.
Right, southeast. How many days, I asked Kalon or Monique, would it take to get there?
Like a day and a half to 2 days by the road.
With wagon or without? Sorry.
Oh.
My question was, with or without wagon, would it take a day and a half?
Well, by horse, it would take maybe a day if you were moving swiftly. But on foot, you're talking about a day and a half, maybe 2 days.
Okay.
And I was wondering if there are any birds nearby. Are there any living birds?
Well, I mean, all the birds that you've seen.
I mean, not infected is what I mean.
You haven't seen birds that weren't infected.
Okay. I'm on the lookout for one, FYI.
Okay.
Well, if here's the safest place for them, then there's not much we can do about that. They've got enough food and then some fortifications at least. But if we're gonna,
Halon asks you guys. He says you traveled from the Thar.
Yep.
And you didn't encounter any infected in the Thar?
I don't recall us encountering any in the Thar itself.
And you didn't until you got to my, the land around my farm. You didn't have any issues with infected.
When we came out of the Thar, we didn't encounter any people. I don't remember.
Yeah, we just ran into the normal dangers of the Thar when we were trying to leave.
Halon says, well, normally I would never even think this, because in normal times, the Thar is a very dangerous and deadly region. There's a reason why people don't live there. And he looks at Rolfish and he's like, my apologies, but there are dangerous tribes that live in the Thar. And normally I would never suggest traversing the Thar. Trade caravans that go overland from Melvaunt to Glister always have a significant force of armed mercenaries who accompany them. But maybe if you guys didn't encounter any of the infected in the Thar, maybe that isn't such a bad idea. Maybe there's some way to go into the Thar or go through it and maybe head north to safety in Glister.
How far is Glister if we go through the Thar?
Like it's like a week travel.
Oh Jesus!
To get from Melvaunt to Glister is a hike.
Yeah.
It's all the way through. It's like not all the way east to west, but it's northeast of Melvaunt through the Thar.
Okay. Well, that's another option, I suppose.
I mean, now if we got to Glister and found that was ruined too, then we're in trouble. Because
you're not wrong.
In another month and a half, it's going to be winter.
Well, if we were going to go to the Thar and say ourselves accompanied you, I might be able to negotiate with at least orcs. Possible, not guaranteed.
I'm going to give you a ballpark because you would know roughly what this is, but it's about 60 miles through the Thar from Melvaunt to Glister. And it's about maybe 30 miles from Melvaunt to Thentia.
Okay, so an idea just popped in my head. As tell me if this is something Rolfish would know. Does Rolfish know, because he just came into a little bit of money at least. Would Rolfish know if he could pay orcs to escort them or pay someone? Oh yeah. That he knows up in the Thar.
Many of the tribes that live in the Thar are open to bribes. And in fact, that's how a lot of the trade caravans from Melvaunt to Glister make their way through is they pay the toll, basically. In each tribal area along that road, they end up having to pay a toll. Now, that sometimes works, but it doesn't always work because sometimes there's fighting between tribes.
Yeah.
And then you get raiding parties that try to attack your caravan, even though you paid another tribe to pass through.
Yeah.
And there's other things that don't think that live in the Thar that aren't that thoughtful, straight up monsters.
Yeah.
East that don't follow any rules, whether you bribed them or not. So
right.
What if we were to guide them and protect them into the Thar?
Yeah. Well, that'd be on our soldiers.
I'll tell you this too, because you would know this. If you guys, like, even if you had some pack horses to pull a wagon and you loaded it with supplies and you sent Halon and Monique and the 7 kids north into the Thar, they would be dead or enslaved within a day.
Yeah. Right.
Like they would never make that trip. They would never make the trip to Glister by themselves.
Jaunt, where does your compass point?
It says southwest, I believe.
Yes.
Out to sea.
You know what? I'm gonna pull out the lamp with gems on it, and I'm gonna use it.
Did you attune to it?
I don't know if I actually attuned to it yet, but if I need to do that, I'll attune to it. I'll start attuning right now.
Remind me where this thing came from?
The dungeon.
So at the banquet?
Yeah, in the dungeon and the banquet. The lamp of all revealing.
Hey Bill, do I have to say that I'm casting beast sense in order to start looking for birds to commune with?
Well, you have to have a beast that you can connect with first. So you have to touch a willing beast.
So I have to see the beast first, and then I can do the ritual.
Well,
Okay.
no, not just see it. It has to be a willing beast.
Okay.
So like it has to be an animal companion, or you have to cast animal friendship on an animal first.
Okay.
And then once you have that, like,
I don't think I have
willingness,
animal friendship.
then you can do beast sense. Are you sure? I thought you did. Look
I
at your
might.
character. So while you guys are kind of discussing these things, Quinn kind of comes over, and he like very respectfully, and he leans in and he says, excuse me, I was just wondering if you'd given any thought to what we mentioned about Sister Jane from the orphanage.
About finding her?
Well, yeah,
looking
you
for her?
guys said you were interested in exploring more of the city, and being that it's daytime now and you could see, possible threats coming, we just thought maybe we could see if we could find Sister Jane.
It's possible,
That'd be-
and I might I might have a way to find her. As I'm busy attuning to this lamp.
He says, oh,
What do you want to do with Sister Jane when you find her? Do you want to bring her here, or do you want to join her wherever she's holed up?
well, yes or yes. I mean, if she's alive and she's been holed up this long, maybe, she's in a better position than we are. But if she's, doesn't really have a good setup, maybe she could come here.
How far away is the orphanage?
He says, well, it's a few blocks south and a few blocks east, but it was kind of in an area that was hard hit when things first got overrun, because it's a little closer to the docks and a lot of bad things, sick people. He says, but if you want to go over the rooftops, Estev found a way, kind of zigzags to the east a little bit, and then it goes south. But he could get you pretty close.
Would these roofs hold my weight?
That's my first thought too. How sturdy are the roofs?
He looks at Rolfish and he's like, maybe not. and
I could follow on the ground.
You see, he looks at Vörös too, and he's like, I don't know if they would hold him either. Some of them are, pretty beat up.
Yeah, I think we'd be safer to go on the ground than on the rooftops.
Yeah.
I don't want my friends falling through.
Maybe
That'll just-
Estev can be our lookout up on the rooftop or something.
Yeah.
Be our
You
scout.
could escort us there.
And
Yeah.
and he says, and you know what else too? He says, Hootie could go with, and she could bring the short bow. Now that you fixed that short bow and the arrows, she's a pretty good shot.
Oh, that's nice.
Hootie.
So, so he says, all right, well, I'll talk to them. He's like,
Okay.
whenever you're ready. And he walks
Give me an hour.
over to the kids.
While he's doing that, I was just thinking about the bites that I got, and I wanted to check those to see if they're 100% healed.
Make a medicine check.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Medicine. That is a dirty 20.
They look healed or healing, but moreover, they don't seem to bear any signs of infection, nor do you, for that matter.
Okay.
Good.
I'm just
Better
going to keep
check
an
my-
eye on them.
I'm going to check my bite too, if I may. 22. Dirty 22.
Same thing. You seem to be like the Night of Rest coupled with the spells that you cast for the lesser restoration. Jaunt seemed to have done the trick.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll check mine as well. 19.
Yep, they seem to be okay.
Now let's gather supplies we may need for our adventure.
Okay. I think I'm ready.
I'm just busy attuning.
Sister, was it Jane?
Sister Jane.
Sister Jane is she's with the she's a religious entity of some kind.
Yeah, well, so you asked Quinn. She was basically like the head nun at the orphanage. She's a priestess of Shantea.
Oh, Shantea. Okay. Well, I have some familiarity with Shantea and her worshippers.
Yes, and by all accounts, it would make sense that there would be, you know, a small order in this area that would attend to orphans. Curiously, though, in what you've seen so far of Melvaunt, not a big religious presence. Like you haven't seen temples, shrines, churches to like any of the gods. Yeah.
Well, let it be a lesson to us all that godlessness can lead to ruin.
Yes. And you haven't, well, let's see. In the buildings that you have gone into, you haven't seen any sort of homage or emblems indicating, you know, honoring of the gods. Whereas, you know, in your travels here and there between Fharlanghn and Melvaunt, you've come across many rural places and farmsteads where you've seen depictions of the gods and the gods being honored. But you have not seen this in the city of Melvaunt. So after a while, Rolfish, you feel like you have come to an understanding with this lamp.
Okay. Do I know inherently how to use it now?
Yes. So there's, there seem to be two kind of functions of this. There's a basic thing that you can do several times a day that will allow you to cast augury as a ritual.
Okay.
And that's based on charges. Okay. So you give 1d3, so it's a d6 divided by 2, 1d3 charges per day of augury.
1d3, you said?
1d3, yeah.
And 3 charges a day.
Right. And then once per week as a ritual, you can cast the 4th level divination spell of divination.
Oh shit.
With no material components. But that's once per week.
Cast divination. That could be clutch.
Now, remember that this counts as an attuned item.
Right. I have it on my sheet listed because I'm attuned to the pick and the lamp now. Do I have to be attuned to that necklace as well?
What was the necklace again?
Control Undead, I believe it was.
Did I tell you how many charges that has?
No, I just identified it and I put it on. I did attune to it, but I never really got the info because I hadn't had to use it yet.
So that operates more like a wand because it is finite.
Oh, it has a limited number.
And yeah, so it has 5 charges, and once they're used, it's done. The necklace
Gotcha.
loses its magic, so you don't have to attune to it.
Gotcha. Noted. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and burn one of those charges of augury. Well, I mean, I got to roll. You said each day for the amount of uses.
Right. So roll a d6, divide by 2, and that's how many charges you have.
3.
So
1.
3, 4, 1, 2 would be 1, 3, 4 would be 2, 5, 6 would be 3. So you have 2 charges.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna burn a use of augury and ask.
So the way that augury works is you suggest a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes, and you can ask about an omen for that, and the possible responses that you will get are wheel, woe, wheel and woe, or nothing.
Right.
So something that you would do in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I basically asked if we, in the next 30 minutes, if we go look for this sister, what's going to happen? Will, woe, or whatever.
Okay. You concentrate. The lamp warms to your touch. And a minute later, you sense in your mind that this will be both wheel and woe.
Well, at least it doesn't just well.
Right.
I call my companions over after I've done all this stuff, and I tell them about the lamp and its properties, and that I just use it to cast augury, and that we're probably, if we go in the next 30 minutes, we're gonna probably encounter some good and bad when we attempt to find the sister.
We
I
always
was
do.
expecting that anyway.
I
just
prepared.
I just like confirmation of things.
Okay.
Fill you up with power. Life is both sweet and sour.
Let's go, friends.
Let's
You guys,
do it.
you guys gather your stuff.
Crap in my battle axe.
Quinn goes to the back door and peeks out to make sure it's clear. Estev and Hootie go up to the loft and pop out a chunk of the roof and climb out onto the roof. They go ahead, and then a few moments later, Quinn looks out, and you see he's looking up across the way, and he gives a thumbs up sign, and then he says, "Okay, go that way." So you guys come out. You see that Hootie and Estev are on a rooftop, 2 houses down, and they're moving from roof to roof of this kind of block of tightly built houses.
I cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. That makes your life a lot easier.
And I was going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay, good. So I'm assuming then all of you are going to stay pretty close to Moriana.
And then you have to stay close within 30 feet.
Okay. So you guys begin following Estev east. You see the kids going across the rooftops. Occasionally they stop and they put the hold up signal, and then you wait, and then they motion for you to go. I'm going to have you make a roll for the first chunk of this journey. So remember that you get a +10, but make a stealth roll.
That would be a 15 for me.
30-20.
15.
Oof.
+10.
Muted.
22.
You said muted?
20?
I was muted.
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
Heath
So
was.
all of you got higher than a 15. You're fine. The kids lead you to the east, and you have not been to this part of town. You could see here that there's quite a few spots where it's become sparse because buildings burned down. You also see the charred corpses of humans in some of these buildings, as if maybe like a group of infected were in there and they started going berserk and then someone burned the building down, that kind of thing. Yeah. And there's timbers collapsed, and so you guys kind of make your way around, and you go to kind of a larger barn building next to an inn that looks like it's been just torn apart. And the kids descend down a gutter, and they come up to you and they say, now from here on out, you're going to go down that block straight, and you're going to see there's a kind of like a white 2-story building. It's been painted white, and there's a stone wall around the whole yard with a black metal iron gate. He said, that's the orphanage. Okay. And he goes, you'll see the symbol of the earth goddess on the top over the door.
I kneel down in front of him.
And
if Sister Jane is there, we will find her.
Thank you, Dragon Man. And just make sure that she knows that well, not all of us, but that, we're safe. Estev says, we're going to wait up on that building over there so we could see you coming down the block. Remember, if you start getting chased by the infected, don't lead them back to the cottage. You got to lose them first.
Understood.
And he says, okay. And he turns and he's like, come on, Hootie. And the little black-haired girl just like smiles and gives you a little thumbs up, and then she follows him. And they crawl up this gutter on another building like a pair of spiders. They're like, and they just get up on the roof. And they're like laying down, belly down on the roof, like watching you. So you see this kind of road that lies ahead, and there is so much crap in the road that you could easily go from like thing to thing. Like there's like broken carts. There's also carcasses of animals rotting. There's like birds flying around, barrels, crates, random clothing, more bodies, just a whole bunch of stuff. It is still eerily quiet. Like in the distance, you could hear kind of the wind, coming off of the Moonsea, but not much else. Make your second and most important stealth checks.
22.
23.
17.
That's a nat 20, so that would be a 32 for me.
Wow. You guys champ it up. Like you just move like a ghost through this, montage of horror. And in some cases you move so stealthily that some of the birds feeding on carcasses don't even like look and notice you. You get to the end of a block, and kind of across the street, as you're kind of stopped by a corner and you're like looking both ways, 2 blocks down back to the west, you see a few straggling infected. You could tell that they're infected because they're moving around. They're like walking around, but they seem to be kind of like not in a rage mode. They seem to just be kind of like walking down the street.
Humanoid.
Yes. Across, and then across like kind of kitty corner, you see the building that you think Estev was talking about, because it's a 2-story white building. Like at one time it probably looked really nice, and it was like stucco on the outside and painted, and it has this cool like domed second floor with a little like bell tower, just a tiny little bell tower thing. And you see this stone wall that's about 6 feet tall that goes all the way around this corner lot. And on the street side, you see a black wrought iron gate. The gate is closed. And from where you are, you can see that there's been a chain wrapped around it that looks like it goes inside. So it looks like somehow it's been secured.
Right. How tall's the wall?
6 foot tall wall.
Okay.
So like you and Vörös could, if you wanted to walk up to it, you could just like literally peek right over.
Yeah. Let's give a look-see. It's like, I mean, I give a look, I don't see any more humanoids, and I just, go check over the wall.
Okay. So you guys make your way across and you get to the wall. You peek over. It is obvious that the gardens have been left in shambles. Okay. So imagine like a corner building, right? Like a corner two-story, like white stucco sort of church looking building with an extra lot on the side. So there's no building right next to it. It has some land. And it looks like at some time they must have had like a little mini farm, like a communal gardens kind of thing. But everything's like rotten on the vine and like overgrown. There's weeds all throughout the yard and patches of grass that have grown high. And you see that like the door and the windows are all closed and shuttered to the orphanage.
I waved my friends over if they didn't come with me.
Okay.
So, okay.
You take a look at the gate. It is it's closed, and it looks like there's a chain around the gate that goes inside on the inside of the wall to a metal post.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's chained to the metal post. So, and there's clearly like a lock on that chain. So if you wanted to try to pick the lock, you could, but you would have to hop the fence, then pick the lock to get that off. Or if you wanted to just try to strength break the chain, you could do that.
Or we could just go over the wall.
Yeah, just go over
the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably trying to keep something out.
I'll assist anybody over.
Okay. Who's going over first?
I will.
Let's go, big boy.
You get over. You're fine. Who's going next?
I'll go. Do we need like a grappling hook or anything, or can we just climb over the
6 foot wall?
No,
you get a hand from Rolfish. You get over.
Yeah, I'm boosting you over.
Who's going next?
I'll climb over after Jaunt.
Okay.
With the help of Rolfish.
Make a perception check, Moriana.
Perception. That is a 25.
As you get to the top, like Rolfish helps you, you get to the top and you're flipping over and you look back over, you see about a half block down, you see what looks like a human man running at full speed. His clothes are tattered and he looks like just dirty and grimy and greasy, and he's running at full speed.
I pointed out the Rolfish and tried to help him up as fast as we can.
Time question. How long has it been since we've been out?
Let me think about that. So I'm going to say that it probably took 20 minutes to get to this part of town.
Was Rolfish invisible?
I've been invisible the whole time. I just throw Moriana over and I stay on my side of the wall.
Okay.
So you see,
don't worry about me.
This guy's running to where you were standing. Do you move, Rolfish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you kind of move out of the way. You move out of the side. You see that this infected, when he gets within about 100 feet, is like, and he's just raging and running full speed towards the wall.
Yeah.
The rest of you guys hear this.
When he gets in range, I cast the Arms of Hadar.
The what?
And so the Arms of Hadar. Yeah, Hadar.
Here in Chicago, we say the Arms of Hadar. Hadar.
Hey. Good old Hadar.
Hadar.
Yep. I knew a guy named Dar.
It is probably
Strength.
so
save.
your tendrils reach what? What is that range?
10 feet.
Okay, so
10 feet.
you understand that once he triggers this, you're no longer invisible.
I do.
Okay, so he's gonna make a strength save. Rip. What's your spell save DC?
13.
He made it. I got a 15.
Oh.
And
So he takes half damage.
Yeah.
Takes half
All right.
damage.
So roll me the damage.
5.
Okay. So he made 5. The rest of you, I'm going to let you make an action. So you can see, Vörös, you could see what's happening because you could see over the wall. There's an infected man trying to attack Rolfish. Jaunt and Moriana, if you peek around the wall through the gate, you can also see what's going on.
Do I have clearance to swing my
Yes.
battle axe down on top of where his head might be?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to tell me what the raw roll is, though.
Okay.
It's a 1, wasn't it?
5.
Okay, that's fine. You didn't hit Rolfish. You swing, and this thing's so furious, and it's like wrestling with these weird tendrils that it just moves as you swing, and it just kind of like you barely miss. Moriana and then Jaunt.
I cast Frostbite. He has to make a con save.
Ooh, does he indeed? Let me.
Oh shit! I get two attacks. I forgot.
I'll let you make a second one. Go ahead.
I just want to claw at him with my other hand.
Go ahead.
17.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
4.
Okay, con save. All right, so he'll take 4 on top of the necrotic damage from Rolfish. And then the con save for you, Moriana, is a failure. He failed. So what's our damage?
That's 2d6.
Nice.
Dang.
And that's a total of 10. And he has disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay. Now, I don't know if the next weapon attack, because he's not attacking with a
He
weapon.
doesn't have a weapon, actually, yeah.
Yeah, but all right. So, Jaunt, you're up. You could see this.
I'm gonna hit him with a fireball.
All right. Roll your firebolt attack.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
17.
What's the damage?
6.
Very powerful.
Rip.
He falls back on the ground and he's taken quite a bit of damage in this short time. But you notice that the rage is fueling him and he's like going to get back up. Top of the order, Rolfish.
Pew pew, Eldritch Blast, 2 beams.
Okay. Hit it up.
That's a natural 19 on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And that second one might be a miss. What's my plus? 11 on the second one.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay.
This will
so
probably.
that's
What's the
D10.
damage?
2d10. Well, 1d10 for each beam. 9 on the first one and 8 on the second.
Oh yeah. You blast him dead and he stays down. It is once again eerily quiet. Now, the matter of you getting over the wall.
Oh, yeah. That's our big Rolfish.
Yeah, and you're no longer invisible. So what's
Yeah.
your plan?
Maybe I should just stay over here.
We can
What do you guys
grapple you
think?
over and make a pulley.
Vörös, make me a athletics check to see if you could snap the chain.
That would be
is eight-
loud.
18 plus 7 is 25.
Yep. You look at the chain and you start pulling on it, and you guys hear the sound of the metal bending, and you snap it.
Like an otter pop.
And
Would it make a lot of noise?
No, it's
Okay.
like the chain, like the remnants of the chain, like slinking to the ground, but it's not loud.
Mm.
And you open up the wrought iron gate, and you are now able to go in.
I do that.
Okay, so this large corner building, as I said, imagine like kind of a big 2-story church. You indeed see over the stairs, the stone stairs that lead up to the door, the entrance. You see on that archway, Jaunt, the symbol of Shantea. The door and all the windows are all boarded shut, like the not boarded like nailed up, but like wooden shutters. The front door is also closed, and there appears to be a scrap of paper like nailed up to it. It looks kind of faded. You'd have to get closer to examine it.
Behold, friends, the symbol of Shantea. Well, this must be the place. And there appears to be something nailed to the door. Start going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
As you get closer, you can see that this looks like a note that was written on a piece of parchment, and it has been in weather for quite a bit of time. So some of the ink is faded. Some of it's even kind of, it looks like it maybe have gotten wet on the bottom. But based on what you were able to make out, it looks like a note written from Sister Jane. The parts that you're able to make out that aren't faded or completely messed up from water is children, may the mother watch over you. And for those of you not infected, I pray that you will find a way out of this city and head to safety. All of Shantea's blessings upon you, and I hope to see you in Thentia, Sister Jane.
Outstanding.
Is that the
And
one
again,
across the Thar, though?
This looks like, no, that's the one that goes across the Thar to the north is Glister. This is, Thentia is the one that you can access. It's another port city. You could go, yeah, southeast. And this looks like it was authored a while ago, like months ago. The paper, you know, is tattered. Do you try the front door?
Yeah, I do.
I think we should.
It is locked.
There's windows.
You can, if you guys want to do a quick kind of search around the building, I will tell you that everything was locked. It looked like, you know, before this place was closed, it was all the shutters were closed. You could try to force one of the wooden shutters open. That would likely be easier than forcing a door.
Yeah.
But it would involve boosting someone up because the you know, the first floor is up off of the ground. So you'd have to have somebody, you know, basically reaching up to 12 feet height in order to pop those windows.
Moriana, get on my shoulder.
Okay. I climb up.
Down. Help her up.
Okay. What tool are you using to pop these open?
That's a good question. I don't know what I have. Let me look real quick.
Do you need a dagger if you need it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can use a dagger of mine if you need it.
Nope.
But I have a dagger. I can try a dagger.
Okay.
I don't have any.
Make an athletics check.
Okay, athletics check.
I got some bagpipes you can try.
That's a 15.
Stick my battle axe.
The 15 is not enough. You just can't get enough leverage, you know, to kind of pop it.
What if I try to shillelagh it?
Sure.
I could use this really expensive potion to get him through there.
You wanna shillelagh and smash it open?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make a standard attack roll with advantage.
With advantage.
Yeah, make a shillelagh attack roll with advantage.
The window dodges out of the way.
Right.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yeah, the
That
nat
was
20
27.
you smash it in. It is a bit noisy because you just smashed open wooden shutters, but it is open, and you could hop right off of Vörös and climb right in if you wanted.
I do that. I climb in and just to see what's in there.
Okay. You seem to be in some kind of front dining hall. There are 4 8-foot-long tables with chairs, place settings, linens, but everything is covered in a thick layer of dust.
Right.
Through a set of double doors, it looks like there's a front hallway and entranceway, which might be where you'd see the front door.
Yeah, I would like to go to the front door and see if it would be possible to unlock it from the inside.
Yes. Well, the first thing is there's a literal wooden deadbolt, like a piece of wood that's slotted. So you remove that, and then you turn the lock, and you can open the door.
Okay, and then I let the guys in.
Okay.
Let's see
You
if
guys-
there's anything in here.
Okay. You guys go around. I'm gonna have each one of you make I'm assuming that you're gonna stick together and search this place up.
Right.
Yep. Casting detect magic along the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Detect what?
Magic.
So should
I
we do an
cast detect
investigation?
bullshit. How about that? Can I cast that?
Oh,
That'd be the best
you
spell
sense the
ever.
magic of a portal going to Avernus. Great.
So how long does that spell last, and what's the
30
range on
30
it?
minutes. 30 minutes, and I think it's 10.
All right.
Gosh.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So you
10,
guys-
10 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 feet.
Okay. So you begin walking through the house. You cover the whole first floor. You go to the second floor. It looks like the second floor is where the dormitories are. And it looks like each one of the rooms has like 4 bunk beds. There's like little, foot lockers and a closet to hang clothes, that kind of stuff. Everything looks basically like people cleared out of here in a hurry. Like there's still clothes and things hanging, beds that aren't made, but everything's like covered in a layer of dust. The pantry has a fair amount of food in it, but it also looks like it was kind of looted, and some of the food is rotted. But there's, basically this orphanage like has an intact kitchen, dining room, living quarters, all that kind of stuff. Where your detect magic comes out is when you go to the headmistress's room, which is actually on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of past the dining room and the front parlor, and there's another room that looks like it's set up almost like a classroom, where there are chairs in rows, and there's like a desk at the front. And you see like little slates with chalk. But in the headmistress's bedroom is where you sense that there's magic.
Okay.
You go to that door and it is locked. There's a keyhole.
Of course.
Can we peer into the keyhole?
Sure. You see a little bit of light, must be coming from like a crack between the shuttered window. Looks like daylight.
Hear anything? Stick my ear up to the keyhole.
you hear nothing.
See if
I mean,
can
I
jimmy
think
the
there's
lock.
it's a good possibility that they left this note as a deterrent to fish heads and dirty knees or whatever the hell the guys were.
Scandal rats.
You know, like, oh, she's not here. Looks like she went to Fencia, you know, but maybe maybe they are holed up here.
Who knows? See if I can jimmy the lock with a knife.
I'll have you make a dex check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yes. Unless you have proficiency in thieves tools, and you have.
Which I do not. I do not. Come on. That is simply a 10.
Doesn't look like you're going to be able to finesse this door open. Does anyone else want to try any other techniques to open the door?
It's definitely locked. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yes,
okay.
You guys want to knock first, or you want to just knock it down?
It's
Don't
up
matter
to
to
you.
me.
I'm here if you need it forced.
Go ahead and
Just
make an
whisper
athletic
into the
check.
keyhole.
You whisper in the keyhole. There's no response.
Yeah, I'd be like, Sister Jane. Psst, psst, psst.
25 on the athletics check.
Okay. You don't have to like kick it in. You just like lift and turn until you snap the doorknob off, and the component falls through, and then you poke two of your big lizard fingers in and knock everything out, and the door just slides open. You see a very humble bedroom. There's like a bed with a nightstand. There's a dresser and a closet with a set of like matching clerical robes. Like basically she wore the same uniform every day. There's like, like a little wash basin kind of area, and there's like a desk with some candles and a little like tinderbox and a quill and ink and stuff like that.
I pat
in the
Vörös
desk
on the
drawers,
shoulder.
in the desk drawer is where you find the magical scroll that you had detected.
Okay. I pat Vörös on the shoulder. We're gonna go far, my friend. Do I recognize what scroll this is?
This is a much higher level spell than you would know.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you would need to make an Arcana check to identify it, or
I will
use
do
a
that.
spell to identify it.
I'll try an Arcana check. It's not terrible, but probably not the best. My Arcana. Oh, it went up. So that's a 17.
Okay. It's a spell that will allow you and others who you designate to teleport to a specific place.
Oh,
You are not exactly sure because this scroll, again, is at like a much higher level of magic than you are familiar with.
yeah.
There's something specific in this scroll that designates the place where it teleports you to.
Right.
You would have to study this more in order to understand how it works.
I will do that at a later date.
Okay. So you take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hell
right.
yes.
Is there anything else that you guys want to explore? There is a cellar, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to look
Oh,
to see if
yeah.
there's a cellar.
So you
What's
go down
that?
to the cellar. It's the stairs to the cellar are right beyond the kitchen, and the cellar looks like it was fairly well stocked. Most of the things that are in there are intact. There are canned and jarred preserves of a variety of different types. You do see some like dried grains and beans and stuff like that are some of them were packaged quite well and they seem to be intact. Others were kind of in loose jars that looked like maybe some mice got into them, but nothing really damaged. It looks pretty well intact. And there's there also is a back door.
Let's say I wanted to look for doors or trap doors to see.
Yeah. I'll let you guys each roll an investigation check to see if you find anything exceptionally different or hidden.
Now I got a
13.
16.
17.
17, 19, Jaunt,
13.
13.
12.
Okay. So you don't find any secret doors or trap sort of things. The back door is locked in the same way that the front door is. Those of you who had higher than a 15, you realize something. That not only were the front and back doors locked, but they had a wooden deadbolt inside of them. You are struggling to think of how someone could have locked this up
And got out.
and then got out.
Well, if they
Likewise,
teleported-
for all of the windows, they were closed
Boarded,
from the inside
yeah.
and latched from the inside. Nonetheless, you do see out the back door, there's a little porch with stacks of firewood. You see that the backyard has, some nice trees. Looks like apple trees. A lot of them are, they're on the ground rotting, bugs flying around. A lot of the yard is overgrown, but it looks like this might have been a nice little mini farm / garden lot adjacent to the orphanage.
Hey, Bill, would we have knowledge of local clerics and whatnot being magic users?
Local clerics being magic users?
As far as like at the orphanage, would the nuns have access to or could they have used that scroll before we got there to teleport somewhere?
Not that you know.
Not that we would know.
No.
They'd have to be high level.
It does seem peculiar that this scroll would have been
There.
yeah, if she was now, understand, you guys don't even know if she was actually a cleric in the divine spellcasting sense.
Mm-hmm.
She might have been a lay person who was of the religious order with no spell ability. So but nonetheless, you sense that this place, as you look around, it seems to be as intact as it was when it was abandoned, when it was left. And certainly a bit more well fortified than the hobcobbled cottage where the kids currently stay.
Right.
And so why aren't they staying here?
That's a
Were
good
they
question.
just
Remember that
afraid to check it out?
they haven't gone. You guys are several
Yeah,
blocks
they
down
haven't
from
been
where Estev and they were afraid to go to this area because they said it was a really bad area back when everything went bad.
Yeah.
But it's been months, so
Yeah, might be an option to move them here.
Yeah.
We'd have to
so
fix
if
the
nothing
chain
else,
lock
maybe
on
we
the
should-
front gate.
And we should clear it so we're reasonably sure that it's empty.
I'm going to say that
Sounds-
you guys take a half an hour. You go room to room, check everything. Every searching for secret doors, for traps, for possible weaknesses. Everything's as intact as it, can be. Obviously, when you guys decide to go out, you're going to need to decide which door to close because you can't lock a door unless you have Moriana stay inside and deadbolt and lock everything and then just go out the window that you guys broke. Bearing in mind that the window's 12 feet off the ground. So without some kind of climbing gear, one of the infected would have a much harder time getting up there and getting in. There is the matter of the front gate, but you feel like you could probably rewrap that chain and close the gate, and that would give it some sense of fortification.
Right.
Could Jaunt do a mending on the gate?
Is what?
Could Jaunt mend the gate?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
I
sure
can mend that
could.
chain.
That's what I was gonna do something way more difficult and complex than that.
I'll say, Moriana, that's an inspiration point for you. Jaunt, you easily, once you guys all get out, you easily reach your hand through the wrought iron gate and you hold the two broken pieces of the chain in your hand and concentrate, and Fharlanghn gives you the strength to mend it, and it seems very secure. You guys are on the street.
Should I head back?
Okay, so you start heading back towards where the kids say they would meet you. Make a stealth. And so it's been 50 minutes total. So how long does Pass Without a Trace last?
1 hour, I believe.
Okay. So I'll say that you guys each get Pass Without a Trace for the first leg back to the kids, but then after that you're on your own.
15.
That's good because I just rolled a 3. That would be then a 13.
Yeah,
Okay.
I rolled a 3 as well.
Okay. You are
It's still plus 10.
It's plus 10
Yes.
for this one. Yeah.
19.
Okay. You guys are making your way. You
At
get about
21.
a block away from where the kids are waiting, and you actually see Estev and Hootie on the roof, and they see you. Moriana, with your passive perception, you notice like Estev like pointing like this, like he's looking across from where you guys are and he's pointing.
I look in that direction.
You don't see anything because you'd have to go up to the corner of the intersection of the street, but you hear like feral sort of like like growling and angry sort of frustrated sounds.
Can I determine whether it's more than one individual?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It sounds like 3, maybe 4.
Okay. I relate that to the party and say, let's go a different way. Not that way.
So you could circle around further to the east and then come north, or you could go west and then go north. But if you go west then north, then the kids are kind of on their own.
It's only a couple. We could take them.
I'm going to go up to the corner and peek around the corner to see.
Make a stealth check first.
Yep. So stealth.
You're still at the plus 10.
That's a 14.
Okay. You get up to the corner, you look around the corner, and you see 3 of the infected underneath like an overhang, underneath a balcony of a building. Like, so there's like a second floor balcony, and you see they're like grasping up and trying to jump up and grab at the balcony. And you see the reason why is there's a man, like a fair-skinned, well-built human man who's sitting on the balcony smoking a pipe, and he's just looking out at the infected. And by the way, this building looks wrecked. Like it looks like it was a tavern or an inn, and there's just smashed up things. But he's on the balcony and he's smoking a pipe. And every once in a while, he just kind of looks down at them.
I relate that to the party and say, looks like we have another survivor here.
And he looks well dressed and like healthy and like well fed. And you notice
What was it that?
Go ahead.
What was it that one of the kids said about the infected that they had trouble with? Was it climbing?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You notice that he finishes his pipe and he leans over the railing and he taps out the ashes, and the ashes just like fall on the infected as they're reaching up. And you hear him, he's talking to them. He like says something to them, and it agitates them, and they're like even more angry.
Confident guy.
Well, should we let this go, or should we talk to this guy and whatever? I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
You're about a block from the kids.
Yeah.
And this is across the street and 2 doors down from you. So what you're seeing, Moriana, from your corner spot is about 120 feet away from you. And the kids are about 360 feet away from you.
Hmm. Or, dare I say, should we split the party, have 2 go with the kids, escort them back, and then 2 stay and kill these things and talk to this guy?
I'll stay and fight.
I'm totally fine with you guys doing whatever you want. Although, if anyone dies when you split the party, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a separate standalone video where I just laugh at you. But that's fine.
On a loop. Just
By all
nonstop.
means, by all means, just do whatever you guys want. I don't want to railroad you into any decisions.
I don't want to split the party.
Okay.
But I think the kids will be okay on their own, actually. They're pretty good. If we want to go, do we want to meet this guy or not?
Yes,
Tell them to leave. Just tell the kids to leave and we'll take care of this.
How are you going to do that?
Yeah,
Tell
they're
the
300
kids?
feet away.
I can
I can
cover some
project.
ground. Oh, you can project. That's right. Never mind.
I can tell them.
What's your range, though?
It is.
Yeah, they're kind of far away.
If you can't get it, Jaunt, I'll just go over there and tell him I'll just go invisible.
No, you'll take forever, Chubby. I'll go.
Hey,
I'm way faster
60
than you.
feet.
don't
I'm
fat
way
shame me.
So you're-
faster than you, Tubbs.
You're a football field away from your range
Okay.
because
What
you're
if I
fine.
pick up?
50 feet
What if I
away from
pick
you.
up Jaunt and run 100 yards?
Why don't I just cast invisibility on you and you just go hurry up and tell them and come back?
I could do that.
Bam, you're invisible.
I
Okay.
move.
Or
I
you keep
move.
track
I
of your
move like a
spell slots.
lizard, son.
Keep track of those spell slots.
Oh, I'm marking them off.
Just
Okay, so Vörös, you're
Unlimited.
invisible. You are invisible. You run over to the building where the kids are. You are like basically 10 feet away from the building and kind of below the roof line. So you could see them right above you, but they obviously can't see you. Now, as you get over there, you could hear them talking. Like you can hear the voice of Estev, and he's like, do they not see me? Are they that dumb? They need to get out of there. It's gonna be dangerous. And then you hear Hootie, the girl with the black hair, and she's like, maybe they know what they're doing, or maybe they see something that we don't see from this end. And
thank you, child.
and you see they're like, and they look down, and Hootie's like, where did you come from? And Estev looks around and he's like, where's the rest of them? Why are they still over there? We need to get back to the cottage.
We have found something. I want you two to go ahead back to the cottage, and we will meet you there.
And they look at each other kind of suspiciously. And then Estev's like, okay, but remember what Quinn said. If you get chased, you can't lead those things back to us.
We won't.
If there's
Your
enough of them,
safety
they'll
is-
smash right through the walls.
They'll never come to the cottage.
And they look at each other and they're like, okay. And Hootie grabs the bow and she slings the arrows, and Estev gets up and you see they start going to the next roof.
I run back to the party.
Okay. Rest of you, while he's doing that, Jaunt. You don't see Vörös go and do that because he's invisible, but you can still hear the frustrated growls, feral sounds coming from the 3 infected who are trying to get to the man on the balcony.
But he doesn't seem to care. I mean, he doesn't seem worried about these things at all.
No, in fact, as you guys are waiting for Vörös to come back, you see that he like goes into the room from which the balcony is coming, and he comes out with like a wooden chair and he sets it down. And then you see he reaches down and he pulls a bottle of wine up and pours wine into a goblet. And then he sits down in the chair and puts his feet up on the railing of the balcony, and he's just drinking wine.
Meta moment. This is like that dude in every zombie movies that's sitting on the rooftop, just picking them off. This
Maybe.
guy's awesome. This guy's
Okay.
awesome.
We'll see.
Trust
We'll see how awesome he is.
So he's, like I said, about 120 feet away, to the northwest, kind of like west and then north. They're still feral, growling.
I could get their attention from this far and have them come this way. I say to the group.
Well, right now it's just Moriana and Jaunt because Vörös is off running the message. So what do you guys?
Well, I tell Moriana and Jaunt.
Have we observed them? Like, do they, if an uninfected animal or something comes by, are they just ravenous and attacking everything like that?
Well, yes, but you haven't seen anything else on this street. And the infected definitely look like they're gaunt, like they haven't eaten.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think, John Moriana? Should we kill these things and once Vörös gets back?
Yeah, let's wait for him to get back, and then we can.
I'll get their attention.
Take care of him. Okay.
Once he's back.
Vörös, you guys see Vörös coming back because he's no longer invisible. Now he hasn't crossed the intersection yet.
Why would he not be invisible?
Because he spoke to the kids.
That doesn't break your invisibility. Attacking, interacting.
Oh! I thought
I was going to say I didn't know that speaking would break it if it did.
No, it shouldn't.
So you must have attacked one of those kids.
No, I wanted to startle them. I wanted to startle them and make it
attack.
Okay,
attack
you're
or
right.
cast a spell.
Attacks or cast a spell. So he's still invisible. You don't see him, and he appears next to you and is like, says,
"I am returned. I've sent the children to the cottage to wait for us."
Good work, friend. So we take out these. Here? So we take. He's still just sitting up there. Now he's drinking wine.
While I'm still invisible, shall I go up and see if there's anything up there with him?
Can't hurt.
I will stealthily go to where the man is sitting and see what I can check out.
Okay, so just to be clear, if you try to go in the front door of this former tavern inn, you would have to pass really close to the infected. Because the second floor balcony overhangs the front.
Is there any way to climb from my vantage point?
You could also go around to the side, go through a window inside, and then try to get to the second floor.
I'll try that. Stealthily move to the side of the building and as to move undetected.
Okay. Make me a stealth check.
7.
Okay. You get inside this building, and you're inside on the first floor of this inn, and it is wrecked. There's blood all over the place. It's dirty. It looks, you see several bodies that are like in a state of decay, like they've been rotting for months. It smells like death in here. There's overturned tables. Just everything has been wrecked, right? Clearly like a major combat happened here. One of the walls is like scorched as if maybe there was a fire and they were able to put it out. You do see like the bar, everything is gone. A lot of the things behind the bar were broken, and whatever wasn't broken was looted. So this place has been cleaned out. You see a door to the kitchen, and you see a set of stairs kind of in the middle of the back of the building going up.
I will go up the stairs quietly.
Okay. You get up to the second floor, and it looks like it's a long hallway with 6 doors.
Of course.
And the 6 doors that go on each side, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at the end of the hallway is one final door. And all the doors on the sides, the 6 doors on the sides are all open. There's crap all piled up, and all the rooms are wrecked as you kind of sneak by.
Now the six rooms leading to the end, do they look like maybe they're stockpiling supplies and whatnot, or does it just look ransacked?
This looks like ransacked. Like maybe on the night that the inn fell, people were just taking whatever they could, and then whatever's left looks like maybe survivors possibly tried to go through this place at a later time to find useful things. Like there's no blankets, but there's like, padded kind of wooden bunk beds and stuff that look like they're, that they were built in for these rooms to be able to accommodate like 4 people per room. And these are not big rooms. I mean, they're like 10 by 10 dorm rooms. So, but the door at the end of the hall is the only door that's closed. And that would be the door leading to the room where he presumably is.
I'll check the door carefully.
It is closed, but unlocked.
Okay. So just very carefully turn the knob and just enough to where I can kind of get a sense. I can smell in the room. I can
as
maybe
you are
see
turning
a little.
the knob, you hear something click. I just rolled for you. You hear something click on the other side.
When it clicks, I stop moving immediately. And wait.
Okay.
Did it sound like a trap triggering, or did it sound like the door mechanism opening?
No, it sounded like something other than the door.
Ah, shit. Okay, so I'm going to fling the door open, but I'm still invisible. So I'm going to fling the door open and back up, and using my bonus action to kind of retreat to a safe distance.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you make a dex save.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage on it.
Okay.
So take the higher of the 2 rolls.
That'd be 15.
All right. You will take half damage. You take 13 points of damage as 4 crossbow bolts fire into you. The other, that's only the ones that were down low. The other 4 that are above flow over your head like Matrix style as you're jumping back. This was clearly set up to basically hit someone that was either shorter or taller or mid-sized. So you only take half of the damage.
Okay.
So you are 10 feet back from the door. It's open. You could see the daylight pouring through. You could see the dude, the silhouette of the dude on the balcony. The light, coming through. The room, from what you could see down the hall, looks intact. And you see him already up and looking down the hallway. And then you see he just sets his goblet down and then jumps up and grabs the edge of the roof above him and swing up. You guys at the ground level,
dope.
This
I'm
is what you guys
after
see
him.
at the ground level. You see the dude sit up, turn around, set his goblet down, jump up and grab the edge of the roof and swing himself up. And now he's on the roof and he starts running.
Sweet.
I will let each one of you tell me what you're going to do. Rolfish.
Jesus. What's the distance from
120.
him? Pew pew. Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
120 feet. First beam. That's cocked. Second beam. Okay, 16 out of 17 naturally plus 5. That's 21 and 22.
Damage.
First
Oh,
beam.
we're just killing this dude now?
Fuck this guy. Okay, so 10 on the first one and 3 on the second.
Okay, it seems to have an impact. He like you hit him and he falls to the top of the roof and he's trying to get back up and move. Moriana and then Jaunt.
I also start running that way.
I was going to say, I'm going to just move in that direction as well. And so I'm going to do a dash action. So that would be 60 feet.
I want to remind you that there are 3 infected.
3? I thought there were just 2. Okay.
No, there are 3 right below the balcony.
Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah,
if you want to do your dash action plus a full move, that gets you to 90 feet, which means you're in their movement range next round.
Can I get within 60 feet and still have an action?
No. Oh, yeah. If you use your bonus action, your regular move's 30, bonus action to dash is 30, then you still have your regular action, yeah.
Okay, then I will get within 60 feet and shoot a frostbite.
And the range on frostbite?
60 feet.
Okay, and one target?
Yeah, it's only one target.
Okay. 16 is what he rolled for his save.
And he saved.
Okay, damage? Jaunt, you're on deck.
That's 5.
How far away are we?
120 feet. 120 feet.
5 damage.
Okay. So Jaunt, you're up.
I'm gonna take a few steps forward just so I'm well within 120 feet, which is my range for firebolt, and I'll do firebolt at the closest infected guy.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Uh, 10.
10. You actually drop. I'm going to assume that you hit the same one that Moriana hit, and you drop him. He gets hit by cold and then heat, and he just collapses. The other two are very aware that you guys are there and they're turning. Vörös. You saw what you saw.
Did I hear the guy drop when Eldritch Blast hit him?
Yes. You heard something on the roof.
All right. I want to do two things, but I can only do one. So I'm going to use from where I am on the balcony now. Can I see the 3 infected?
So you're in the hallway. Do you want to move into?
I want to move into the room.
Okay. So when you move in the room, you see the array of crossbows, bolts, and
pointed at me.
Yeah, and they're not reloaded, obviously. So you get to the balcony, you see the 2 below, and one of them, the 2 below that are running towards your comrades, and you see your comrades, and there's one that looks like it's face down in the dirt.
All right, I'd like to shoot at the one closest to my comrades with the longbow that I picked up at our last adventure.
All right.
That'd be 18.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
10.
You hit it. It stumbles. It's not dead.
And then with my second action, I'd like to shoot one off at the other guy.
Oh, look at you with your 2 attacks.
Yeah, buddy. That is an 18.
It's a hit. Roll damage.
And that's a 10 again.
Okay. All right. Both of them stumble a little bit, but continue running. One of them reaches out at Moriana. Armor class 15.
That hits me. I have a 13.
Okay. 4 damage. Make a con save. Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't make a con save. 4 damage. And this is not going to be an opposed strength check. You were just basically rammed. Okay.
Okay.
The other one is running up towards, runs past and runs towards Jaunt. Back to the order, Rolfish, you're up.
So my speed right now is only 20, right?
Yeah.
So I moved up 20 feet from the last turn.
Okay.
Is the person running away still within 120 feet range?
Yes. He got up and started and continued running. He jumped to the next roof, but if you move up 20 feet, because he had to get up, so he blew some of his movement. So you can go ahead and pew pew.
Yeah, I'll move. I'll move up and then do that. Go. Great, 17 and 18. So that's 22 and 23.
Yeah, damage.
7 and 4. So yeah, 11.
Okay. Here's what happens. You hit him. You see him fall forward what looks like off of the roof of a building.
Jesus.
All right, so up next is Moriana.
And I have one right up in my face, right?
Yes. And you can't do a spell attack unless you want it to be able to bite you.
I can't do a spell attack.
Well,
That's how I didn't understand that. What do you mean?
you could do whatever you want, but it's going to try to bite you. You could tell what its intention are. Now, now that it's up on you,
It's in pretty
got
close,
its
yeah.
claws out, and it's like,
So it's in within 5 feet or within 10 feet?
it's up on you. It's
Okay,
bigger.
then I'm gonna shillelagh him. I'm just gonna smack him.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that is a 9.
Miss.
Yeah.
Jaunt.
It was almost a 20.
Jaunt, there's
So
one on
the-
its way to you that will be where you are at the end of this round, but you could see Moriana has one on her, like biting and clawing.
I'm gonna magic missile the one that's on Moriana. So
Damage. All right, roll that damage.
I love that spell.
What is it? 1d4 plus 3. So 5, 5, and 5. So 15.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
God,
Moriana, you shillelagh and you go to swing at this thing and hit it in the shoulder, and it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like, and like its head splits through, and it's like charred in these 3 spots, and it falls. It's literally blown back off of you.
Yes.
That brings us to Vörös. You see that one is still running furiously at Jaunt, and Jaunt sacrificed his own safety to save Moriana.
And I will attempt to save Jaunt.
Okay. Longbow.
Longbow. 16.
Hit. Roll damage.
That would be 5.
Still running.
Jeez. Second
Second
attack.
arrow?
Second attack, second arrow. I'm firing them back to back. And that is a natural 20 plus 3, 23.
Ooh. So
Hey.
Jaunt, this rager just running at you, clearly gaunt. Like these look like they've been in the city and haven't had anything to eat. They're just and then it gets hit by an arrow, and it's still running and kind of like losing its balance. And then the second shot, like it's just like and the arrow pops through its mouth with a bunch of not old, but just like just gross,
Yeah.
like teeth pop out, and just it just
It's Dragonborn Hawkeye over here.
Oh, yeah.
and
Nice.
and after this moment, it's eerily quiet.
I'm running to where that guy fell. My fat butt.
I'm
I'm going up the roof to where
You guys,
the guy fell.
you guys begin chasing to where he fell, and
Yes,
we'll find
I
out what
am.
happens on the next episode.
Ah!
The Moonsea Adventures. Thank you, as always, to my patrons and awesome subscribers in our community for all of your support, and we will see y'all on the next episode. Peace out.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.